The 19th century British Prime Minister, Sir William Gladstone, made this interesting observation. Show me the manner in which a nation cares for its dead, and I will measure with mathematical exactness the tender mercies of its people, their loyalty to big ideals, and their regard for the laws of the land. I think the ideas behind these words can be extended to how a nation cares for the dying. How we care for the dying, the weakest, the vulnerable members, is a good measure of a nation's greatness. Many people like to say that death is the great leveler, but death is definitely not a democrat, is it? You and I will not experience it in similar ways. Our deaths are as unique as our life and as dependent as our personalities, culture, and the societies that we live in. A very good morning to you all. Thank you for taking time to join us this morning to talk about the state of our common destiny. We're going to have two experts who are going to do the heavy lifting. So I only have one objective, which is to share with you why we do what we do at the Lien Foundation. What's the motivation behind this quality of death index? So some of you may be asking, why is this philanthropic foundation from Singapore so fascinated and hardcore about a topic that is unpleasant, unhappy, and very often unthinkable and unmentionable? The complicated answer to that is that one of our mandate is to enhance excellence in elder care. So with greater health brings greater longevity, and therefore a greater challenge, greater end-of-life care challenges. So we need more enlightened policies and practices to adequately meet these challenges in an aging society with smaller nucleus families and hence increased burden of care. So we want to focus on the last chapter, last phase of life's last chapter, and our big idea is how to improve care for the dying. My simpler answer to that question is that because I think we live in a death-denying society where too many people are dying with unnecessary pain, with too much fear and unfinished business. So if life is like a marathon, not many people run the last lap well or finish the race well, which is a shame, is it? So what is the importance? Why the importance and relevance to you and your audience? Simple answer is that we are all going to die. Virtually all of us will witness the death of a family member, friend, or colleague. And I think many of us will be called upon to make very difficult decisions. So we better have some inkling in terms of what we are getting ourselves into. Where to seek help, what are some of the questions to ask, what to do, how best to handle this very messy, difficult, and complicated life episode. In my mind, I think death is the ultimate inconvenient truth, you see. But most people treat it as a convenient fiction. So in terms of activities, since our friends from the economists are here, I like to use also their lingo. We have done some supply-side work in terms of palliative care training and research on end-of-life issues. That's delivered through our Lien Center for Palliative Care, which is headed by Dr. Cynthia Goh, a pioneering and also a very eminent palliative care professional. This is actually a collaboration between the foundation, Duke NUS Graduate Medical School, the National Cancer Center, and the Sing Health Group. And we also done ERP and mobility solution to strengthen hospices so that they can be more productive. But we do recognize that unless the public understand, appreciate, and demand good end-of-life care, we will not succeed. And I think that's the reason why we have been running this Life Before Death campaign since 2006 on an on-off basis to spark dialogues in the community and to promote hospice palliative care, which in our opinion is the gold standard for end-of-life care. So the intention is that with greater death knowledge, people will hopefully re-examine, redefine, and reclaim their life before death. So what is the motivation for this index itself? We embark on this exercise with the primary intention of trying to understand what is the international landscape out there. What are some of the lessons, salient issues, and best practices that we can adapt? A second reason is that I think we Singaporeans have a fetish for rankings. And I do believe in the potential power of it to spur change and action. A lot of us are in a way very concerned about about the rankings of our economic competitiveness, our universities, our airlines, our airport, our seaport. Singapore has done well. And I'm sure that in a way we also will do well in the area of press freedom and philanthropy in a matter of time. So we found that in fact there are a lot of all forms of life indices except end of life, which in a way spurred us to approach our friends from ERU, who in our opinion are the market leaders in this space. And they are also the people behind the Quality of Life Index to conceptualize a user-friendly tool to analyze a country's total environment for end-of-life care, and also for benchmarking purposes. And we also, another reason is that we actually wanted a useful package to spark international dialogue and hopefully to create public awareness on these neglected issues. So let me point out that in a way it is not our intention to turn this quality of death into a World Cup. I googled the term quality of death index, and this is the only site that pop up itself. It's a Singapore-based website, So look at the title that's highlighted. So this is like saying, Singapore is we have done well in the area of being it's the best place to live, work, and play. Is it a good place for us to die? Please migrate to Singapore to die well. That is a monumental error. That's not our intention. My objective is evaluation and continuous quality improvement on end-of-life care. So I'd like to end here by just saying that talking about death won't kill you. Not talking about death won't make it go away. Talking about death is talking about life. And on that note, I'd like to hand over to Dr. Cynthia Goh to talk more about life, our life before death. Thank you so much.